All right, guys, so today we're going to be looking at the brand new Baesus Bowie MC1. Now, we've checked out some other products from Baesus in the past. They seem to be one of those companies that is focused on giving you a lot of value for what you're spending. Now, the MC1 is an open ear clip-on style earbud. Now, this really is like the in style right now. This is the one that a lot of companies are focusing on because this is an earbud that's made to be able to use at work or use outdoors or around the house, and you never feel like you have to take them off because you can always hear the environment around you. Now, the MC1s do come in at $50. Now, it says on their site and it says on Amazon that they retail for $70, but they're on sale for $49. And I think this is one of those cases that I've seen a lot of companies do this where they try to make it seem like the price is marked high so that when you're thinking you're getting them at the sale price, it just looks a little bit more appealing. But I'm going to treat this like a $50 pair of clip-on style earbuds because I feel like that's what they're going to be priced at most of the time anyway. Now, they do come in two different colors. I have both of the colors here, which is black and white. The overall feel of these are pretty plastic. The case obviously is plastic. The earbuds feel plasticky. I don't feel like they have as much flex as some of the other clip-on style earbuds, but they do advertise these to be anti-drop. So I think they're made to have a little bit tighter of a grip. Now, it does also say that these have some kind of airbags, which I don't know why they call it that. It's essentially just a silicone grip to keep these from moving around. And luckily, though, even though they don't feel like they have a lot of flex, they never got uncomfortable, and they definitely did not move around. So that anti-drop, it definitely holds up to that name that they're pushing. And then it says it's using a 3-magnet system when it comes to the drivers. It also says that it has AI adaptive bass. Now, we've seen companies use AI in different names and different features. I think they just do this to make it seem more advanced, but there is something going on with the low end here where even at lower volumes it is actually pretty impressive, but we'll talk about that once we get to the sound. Another thing that I really like about these is they've decided to use a physical button for the controls instead of touch controls. I think that's important in a style like this because you're going to sometimes feel like you need to move these around, and it's nice to know that you're not going to accidentally, play or pause or turn the volume or do anything like that just because you're moving them around. But luckily, though, the physical button does allow you to control everything. Now, some other features is it does have Bluetooth 5.4, so it does support multi-point connection, so you can connect to more than one device at a time. I am going to recommend that you download the Baesus app so that you can keep these updated. But as far as the features in here, I'm going to kind of say each one with caution. So there are some EQ options in here, and you can customize the EQ settings the way that you want. But the EQ options don't do these any justice. I think that the best tuning is the way that it is out of the box. And then when you start to customize the EQ settings, you don't get near the amount of volume that you get with the other pre-built ones that are already in the app. So I kind of recommend just leaving this alone. Same thing with the spatial audio. These actually have spatial audio, and it has a music mode and a movie mode, but neither one of these are good. Now, you already know, if you watch the channel, I am not a fan of spatial audio anyway, but I'll normally say that it's good for movies or TV shows. That's just not the case here. If you go into music mode or you go into cinema mode or whatever they call it, it just sounds bad. So spatial audio, I would not recommend with this pair at all, but I don't really think that spatial audio is needed on an open ear style earbud anyway. I think you're already getting a very wide open sound that you don't normally get with regular true wireless earbuds. Now, there is a bass boost feature, and I think this is that AI adaptive bass. This comes on out of the box. I would just leave this on. It also has a low latency mode. I would definitely recommend this if you want to cut down any kind of lag, but I also noticed without this on, I didn't really experience any kind of lag anyway. So it's nice that it's on here, but I don't necessarily think it's a must if you're going to use these for that type of media. Now, if you are going to use these outdoors, it does come with an IP57 rating, so it actually has some dust protection, which is nice if you're going to use these at the beach or maybe a job site where dust is flying around. And what's also nice is these are technically waterproof. So on top of being good against rain and splashes and sweat and things like that, if you happen to drop them in water, it's nice to know know that your earbuds aren't going to be damaged. And then moving over to what they've included in the box, this is very simple. This is not a pair that uses ear tips, so you don't get any of that. You only get a USB-C cable, which you will need to charge these, and the battery life is actually pretty impressive, especially for a pair that's made to use all day. You definitely need something that's going to have good battery life. On a single charge, these can get 9 hours, and with the charging case, you can get 40 hours total. And if you do happen to pick these up and they are dead, it has a pretty decent fast charging feature where a quick 10-minute charge will get you around 3 hours of use. And if you are going to use these for taking phone calls, they do use 2 noise canceling mics that I personally think does a really good job of focusing in on my voice and then blocking out a lot of the sounds around me. But you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here. So here is a quick mic test using the Baesus earbuds. I am outdoors. I can hear a dog off to the left. I can hear birds chirping, and it is kind of a windy day. But this is just to give you an idea of what it would sound like if you were to take a call in public. So now let's move over to the sound. And this pair, in my opinion, is doing something that a lot of the other clip-on earbuds don't do very well, and that is bass. When it comes to bass at lower volumes, these definitely check the box. Again, it's what they're calling their AI adaptive bass. But once you turn it up a little bit more, it starts to get a little bit more kick to it. Now, this is not subwoofer type bass. Don't ever think that you're going to get a clip-on style earbud and it's going to be able to replicate what a normal pair of earbuds with silicone ear tips can do. It's not going to come close to that. It's not going to come close to what headphones can do. But what this pair did with the low end still just allows you to feel that impact and that little bit of kick where a lot of other ones fall flat. So I think they did a really good job here. And then when it comes to the mids feel slightly elevated, where if it's male or female vocalists, I could always hear them very cleanly. If it's acoustic instruments, everything just had this nice, rich feel to it. So the mids are not affected by the low end that they're trying to pump up. It just sounded good across all genres. And same thing with the treble. The treble always sounded nice and clean. It never sounded like overly bright or harsh. It wasn't anything like that, but it didn't feel like it was toned down because of the low end either. It felt like all the details came through very well. So now moving to the sound stage and the sound imaging, I pretty much say this with all the clip-on style earbuds. It definitely sounds wide open, but it's supposed to. But this pair does a really good job of being able to tell where different sounds are coming from. So again, it checks that box as well. Now, if you are tempted to want to open these up a little bit more and turn that spatial audio on, just don't do it. I'm telling you, the spatial audio absolutely ruins the sound on these. So I think it just looks good that it's a feature that's available, but as soon as you turn it on, you'll realize why I don't recommend using this at all. So my overall opinion on these is I think Baesus again came through when it comes to value. I do wish that there was a little bit more flex on the part that goes around your ear, because I've just gotten so used to just easily feeling like I can move the earbuds around and they're not going to break. But these do not feel premium. They definitely feel just plastic all around. They don't feel like you can kind of stretch them out too much. Again, I don't think it's going to break. It's just something I just like to feel a little bit more comfortable with, something that has a little bit more give to it. But outside of that, you're getting lots of battery life. In fact, you're getting battery life that can last you all day. The mics on here are good. The bass response, again, I think this is some of the best, especially at lower volumes. And I definitely think Baesus knocked it out of the park from a value standpoint, because the sound quality, again, is definitely well above a lot of the other ones in this price range. So yeah, I can highly recommend these. But guys, that wraps up my video on the brand new Baesus Bowie MC1s. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.